I think we're live again. Are we good? All right. So, it's time for the part of the podcast that I call Pigeons on the Stoop. So, Pigeons on the Stoop is a part where we talk about important issues, parts of history that are not well known or talked about enough, and kind of just getting the word out on things that maybe aren't as talked about as they should be. So it's February, it's Black History Month, but as everybody should know, Black history is a part of everything in U.S. history, but not just the United States, the world. And something I've been thinking about a lot is how we like to kind of separate certain things, like, you know, the U.S. history with the history of Latin America. And some of you may know I'm a teacher. I teach first grade, and I teach Spanish in first grade. And in thinking about Black history, what I love about teaching is that I'm constantly learning. I think as a teacher, you push yourself to learn more. You have to learn more. And in thinking about that, I learned more about this group of people called the Garifuna. So it's really fascinating. The Garifuna, the earliest kind of recorded existence of the Garifuna was on the island of St. Vincent. They are a culture, a group of Afro-descendant people who live in Latin America, mostly in that region, now in Honduras and Belize and also in New York. New York is actually the place where there's the greatest population of Garifuna outside of Latin America. And there are a few interesting things. There are two theories about how the Garifuna got to Latin America. One is that it was a shipwreck, which when you think about history and people say, you know, a ship of enslaved people or people that were trying to enslave was, you know, shipwrecked or lost at sea, what probably happened was that the Africans on the ship took it over. So one theory is that in the 1600s, they were trying to enslave Africans and bring them to Latin America, but they were able to take over the ship and or, you know, some people say it, you know, there was a shipwreck. These things are recorded in history and landed around the area of the island of St. Vincent. But it's interesting because there's also some evidence that supports that they were there earlier, that it's possible that they were even there before Columbus even arrived in America. And there's actually a book that's out there that's by the Rutgers professor. He passed away, but he was a professor at Rutgers University, Professor Saratima, who wrote in his book that the Smithsonian Institute in 1975 found a grave site that was dated to the 1200s of African bodies that were in a native grave site. So there's definitely a lot of evidence pointing to an earlier presence, and not just in the Garifuna, but more widely. So I find that fascinating. I know that I need to learn more about that. There's some people that say, oh, that's false, there's not enough evidence, but we need to, that means that we need to study it more. If you feel there's not enough evidence to prove that Africans, possibly African traders from the Mali Empire, arrived before Columbus, if there's not enough evidence, then we need to look into that more, you know, to really dig into that. So that is Pigeons on the Stoop for today. Just so you know, next month is actually Garifuna Heritage Month. And there are a few, I feel like I have only scratched the surface of what Garifuna culture is. I'm still learning about it. They have their own language, even though they were, you know, kicked off of St. Vincent and pushed into many different areas, they retain their own language that's shared in those different areas. And there's even a Garifuna language school here in New York City. And I'm just going to share with you a few of the events that are coming up. I'll share them on my website, but basically there's a, let's see, on Saturday, March 21st, there's a Garifuna National Marathon from the Bronx to Brooklyn, and that's at the 23 Marcus Garvey Boulevard. And you can find more information at the Garifuna American Heritage or the GarifunaCoalition.org, where they have all the information on the Garifuna American Heritage Month this year. So that's our Pigeons on the Stoop for today. Now it's time to get back to some musical improvisation with your comments. I would love to see what everybody has to say and improvise with a little more of these beats on the line dance drum, and in honor of the Year of the Rat, in honor of Lunar New Year, and all of that fun stuff. So feel free to write something down. If not, I'll just improvise on something that's on my mind. See. All right. Well, since I don't see any new comments yet, I'm going to why are rats considered lucky? All right, so maybe we'll write a song about that. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Just so you know, I'm trying to play this drum as softly as possible to not upset my neighbors or anybody in the building, which is hard. I didn't remember it being so big. I didn't remember it being so loud. They say rats are lucky. They say rats. They say rats are lucky, and I wanna know why. I wanna know why. They say rats are lucky. I wanna know why. They say rats are lucky. I wanna know why. All right. I think I want to keep going with that beat. And maybe think of something else we can improvise. Just keep going with that same groove. Let's see, what's something I can think of? Oh, somebody wrote, and I didn't have the chance to get to it for the last episode. They wrote to the Purple Pigeon texting number, and they wrote about beaches. So how about we improvise a song about that? I see myself on a beach far away. I see myself on a sunny day. I see myself swimming all my problems away. Ooh, was that. And we're gonna close out the episode with, as usual, as you know, we close out the episode with a completely a cappella song. I'm gonna give you guys one last chance to send in a comment, something to sing about, and if not, I'll just think of something to sing about. Let's see. What could we sing about to close out the episode? I close my eyes. Oh, I think we have another comment. I was gonna just come up with one by myself. See, it's weird because I think people are commenting, but I might not see it in real time. Let's just make this a little bigger. We got a lot of bugs we need to. Oh, I see. We've got Trump's impeachment. All right. We'll sing about Trump to close it out. I think we need to rally a little bit before we end it. Let's see. I hear people talking, they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. I hear people talking, yeah, they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. Talking, yeah, they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. Scared of this president, scared of what his things meant. Scared that he can do whatever that he wants. I hear people talking, and they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. They say that now he knows he can do what he wants. They say that now he knows he can do what he wants. I hear people talking, and they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. Well, we can't let him. I say we can't let him. I say we can't let him. I say we can't let him. I hear people talking, and they're starting to get scared. I hear people talking, starting to get scared. He wants us to hate. He wants us to be scared. He wants us not to come together because of the coronavirus. He wants us to stay home. He doesn't want us together. He just wants us. Oh, he wants us to give up. All right, that was a medley of different issues related to Trump, but that's my sentiment is, where I hear a lot of us talking that this is, it's scary that now he knows he can get away with even more than he ever thought, but yeah, and my last note is let's not let ourselves get scared. And also I hear a lot of people talking about the coronavirus, and I see a lot of negatives to being scared about the coronavirus. There's a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment that's coming out of it. We need to, keep an eye on that and check ourselves on that. There's, you can't meet with big groups of people, but people are, there's the MTA protests here in New York. There's the Trump protests. So are you trying to discourage those people from coming together and protesting? So there's a lot to lose if we let ourselves get scared, and not too much to gain. So I guess we'll try to stay aware, but try not to get scared. All right, friends. On that note, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. It's time to say goodbye. just say goodbye. Oh, Mr. Trump, we've had about enough. You think you can get away? Not today. All right, so on that note, this is the second live recording of the Purple Pigeon Jam. The instrumental tracks that you heard are from my album, and the wonderful musicians on them are Henny Montes on the bass, Jack Carter on the drums, Brenda Malone on the guitar, and that's me on the keyboard, Natalia Malone. And tune in to the next episode.